Hi, Wes Scott from Lifeback Law Firm. Today we're going to talk about exceptions to bankruptcy discharge in Minneapolis, Minnesota by Dr. Rosback, a rock star here at Lifeback Law Firm. And there's some common exceptions to this. And a lot of this stems from societal sort of priorities, legislative priorities, manifested by, priorities of the people, supposedly. And so some of this is not dischargeable. Taxes are not dischargeable unless you fall into some exceptions. Student loans are not dischargeable unless you fall into some exceptions. And nobody has to say a word about these exceptions, by the way. I mean, they're just not dischargeable. Nobody has to bring an action to say, hey, you can't discharge these. It's just not dischargeable. Nobody has to do anything. Same thing with criminal fines and restitution. They're just not dischargeable. Domestic support obligations. You get this, right? As a society, we say, hey, you can't file bankruptcy and get rid of this stuff, as a general rule. Then there is a classification of debts that are not dischargeable, that are dischargeable unless a creditor objects to you discharging it. And one of the biggest ones is found in the fraud section of Section 523 of the Bankruptcy Code, where a creditor can object to you discharging a debt with them for fraud. Well, thousands of ways to commit fraud, but the most common are, you took a huge cash advances on the eve of filing bankruptcy, knowing you weren't going to file bankruptcy, to buy a yacht. You know what I mean? But here, creditors have to object to you discharging the debt. It's pretty unusual when the time is right. When you need the backing and safety of a Minnesota's best bankruptcy law firm, reach out to Lifeback Law Firm. You're going to be so thankful you did. And consider hitting the subscribe button.